Hey everyone, Calvin here. If I say that Canada is the best country to live and work, about 7 billion people would disagree with me, probably including myself. But the country is really not very far from the best country to live in terms of healthcare, economy, social stability, living standard, job market, and others. There are some countries on earth, as you know, is very powerful and very rich for whatever reason, but they are neither democratic nor free, at least not like Canada. So within Canada, I think most people would agree that British Columbia is one of the best provinces to live and work for most people, except for Vancouver and Victoria, the two bloodiest expensive cities of the province, where average people hardly can afford a decent house with a freehold title. For most people who want to have kids and raise a family, having a house is a much more comfortable choice than squeezing 5 people into a 2-bedroom apartment. That's why I would like to take into consideration of having a house in today's listing. So for average people, what are the 5 cities in British Columbia, Canada, where people can easily afford a house, a detached house, without worrying too much about their mortgage or job security? If you're considering living in BC, I think we have a list of gems for you to choose. As you probably already know, the housing price in Canada has been skyrocketing long before this pandemic. Of course, this pandemic has made things even worse for most people because the low interest rate even accelerated the price increase. No matter what reasons are causing the housing price increase across Canada, especially in the big cities like Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal, Victoria, one thing is pretty clear, that within next 5 to 10 years, normal people like me can easily afford a decent detached home in these big cities, even though the Canadian federal government has said that they're looking to take some actions. And the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau also said he is concerned about the housing market. Getting a 5,000 square feet, 3-bedroom, decent detached house in the center of Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal within the next 5 to 10 years under $1 million is just not possible. So today we picked up 5 best cities to live and work in British Columbia where average people can really afford without much concerns. At least not as much concern as they would in Vancouver and Victoria. We're going to take into account job security and affordability, which are the most important factors for most people. Of course, we are also going to take into account schools, hospitals, banks, grocery shopping, and safety. Before we get started, please destroy the like button below and smash the subscribe button for YouTube algorithm. Alright, let's get started without further ado. We said that we're going to show you 5 cities in British Columbia, Canada, where average people can easily afford a detached, decent house on freehold title to live and work without much concern about their mortgage and job security. Obviously, Vancouver and Victoria are out of the list, unless you're an average people who just happen to born into Jack Ma's family or Jeff Bezos' family. In that case, you can sponsor my channel by contacting me via my business email. Enough for jokes. Seriously, this is for people who want to live a comfortable life in a spacious house, not for people who want to squeeze 5 to 6 people into a 2-bedroom apartment, which is basically a box you own for a period of time. A house is different. For a house, you own the land forever. Even your house is burned down accidentally, you can build another house on top of that. Of course, you cannot build a factory, while the neighbors are all residential houses. Let's talk about the list. Number 5 is Kelowna. I guess you probably already guessed Kelowna is in the list. You got it. If you like a smaller and quieter place than Vancouver, but still like people gathering and partying, this can be an option for you. A lot of people found their dreams there. The city, which is the province's 3rd largest metropolitan area following Vancouver and Victoria, and the largest in the interior, is on Okanagan Lake in the Okanagan Valley, surrounded by mountains and glaciers, with about 220,000 people, which is even less than 1/10 of that of Greater Vancouver. It's an absolutely gorgeous place to live. After many years of expansion, the city has decided to build up to increase density. In terms of climate, although the climate change has been impacting the city, the year-round temperature is still comfortable, maybe for another 50 to 100 years. Neither too cold nor too hot. If you like living in a smaller city but also worried that you would miss downtown nightlife, don't worry, Kelowna can offer both. Although small in size, it makes you never forget that night you had in downtown Kelowna. Attractions and commerce are concentrated here in the downtown, including several parks, beaches, walking trees, Kelowna Marina, Yacht Club, the Delta Grand Hotel, and casino, and Prospera Play Arena. Hey, but can we afford a detached house in such a large city? The third largest city in British Columbia. Yes, for most people they can. If you have $40,000 in your bank and your household income is more than $80,000 a year, then you can easily buy a detached house right now. Between $550,000 and $750,000, you can easily buy a very spacious home. I know that sounds still very expensive for a lot of people, but come on, compared to Vancouver and Victoria, that's a lot cheaper. The city is a tourist-oriented place where the service industry employs the most people. Every year, tourism in the greater Kelowna area brings about $1 billion to the local business. For example, in summer you can do boating, golf, hiking, and biking. In winter you can do skiing and snowboarding in the nearby Big White and Silver Star ski resorts. Obviously, this pandemic has affected tourism, therefore the local business of Kelowna. So it might be a great chance to find your perfect home there at a cheaper price. Besides, the city is well known for its wines. Because the city is located interior among many mountains, which blocks the Pacific rain, it's an ideal place to grow grapes used for producing wines. So vineyards are very common there. Besides tourism and wine, the place is also ideal for filming, which has been booming, especially in the recent years, such as Mishi, the water giant, which I'm sure you have never heard about, and me neither. Anyway, so if you are working in service industry and you're good at it, you should be able to find a good job there. So all these factors together has made the city one of the fastest growing city in North America, entire North America, adding about 10,000 people every 5 years. That's a lot considering the total population of the city is about $220,000. The total population of the city is 220,000. This has been making this place less and less affordable for most people, except for rich retired seniors who love the place, really love the place. About 18% of the people who live there are at their retirement age, which is a lot higher compared to 13% across Canada. If you want to raise a family, you can easily do that in Kelowna. Besides their high quality elementary schools and middle schools and high schools, the city is also home to University of British Columbia, Okanagan Campus, and Okanagan College. Both have more than 8,700 students enrolled. But in terms of safety, you might want to think twice before moving there. As of 2016, the city's crime rate is the second highest in Canada. It says that most of the crimes are non-violent property crimes, including drug crimes. There's a 1 square kilometer downtown area called Red Zone, where a lot of drug trafficking, robberies, and assault happen. It's extending from the Okanagan Lake to the West Lake Avenue. These are the standard crimes that are defined by police and judges. I'm not sure if you would consider the following incident as a crime, where upon her boyfriend's request, a student was well-checked by a policewoman in the middle of the night, who dragged her from the building apartment into the building hallway with only a bra and thin pants on her in the cold winter with her hand cuffed at her back. And the policewoman stepped on her head when she was lying down on the floor with her face down and can't even move. The video is very disturbing. If you feel uncomfortable with mistreatment or abuse of a human by another, please don't watch the video. It's very disturbing and horrible. Anyway, let's go back to our topic. Altogether, I would say for now, the city is still affordable for most people, and hopefully it will stay there. However, when it comes to safety and crime, I think it's not an ideal choice. Number 4 is Nanaimo. The city is on the east coast of Vancouver Island with about 92,000 people, right across the Strait of Georgia from Vancouver, 111 kilometers north to Victoria, which is the province's capital, as you probably know. If you land in Vancouver, you can get there via a ferry within 1 hour or so. Nanaimo is the gateway to many other destinations, both on the northern part of the island and off its coast. The city is slightly warmer than Kelowna, but as rainy as Vancouver in the winter due to Pacific Sea. Like most cities in BC, transportation is very convenient. The regional airports, Nanaimo Airport and Nanaimo Harbor Water Airport, service to Vancouver, Calgary, and even Toronto, and 3 BC ferry terminals located at the Departure Bay, Duke Point, and downtown, if you prefer waterway. If you like driving, Highway 1 19 and 19A can take you to there. When it comes to population, it is one of the fastest growing cities in the country. Senior people like it, just like Kelowna. Of course, the city housing price has been rising, just like those of surrounding Vancouver and Victoria. But between 550K and 650K, there are still many options, at least for now. To afford it, you need a stable job and economy. The city was supported mainly by coal mining and then was supplemented by forestry industry with the building of Macmillan Bluedale Pulp Mill in 1958, which today injects well over $500,000 a day into the local economy. But the largest employer of the city is the provincial government. Of course, there are service, retail, and tourism also contributing to the local economy. The government is also trying to grow its technological developments by helping startups with education, tools, and venture capital. One of the reasons that this is a great place to raise a family is because there are about 30 elementary and secondary schools. Most of them are public and operated by School District 68 Nanaimo Ladysmith. For example, Aspen Grove School is Junior K grade 12, independent school, accredited as International Baccalaureate World School, and offers IB primary years, IB middle years, and IB diploma program, and received 10 out of 10 by IB organization in 2011. If you love sports, I guarantee you wouldn't be disappointed by what this city can offer you. There are football, hockey, bungee jumping, baseball, and even bathtub racing. Yep, there's a sport called bathtub racing. Nanaimo hosts this annual festival for that, called Nanaimo Marine Festival. Yeah, if you're able to find a job that pays you more than $80,000 or more a year, you would love the place. But keep in mind that the median income there is about $32,700, which is even lower than the national average. And the employment rate is about 7.7%. I'm not sure if this pandemic has made things worse. Number 3 is Kamloops. Kamloops is located at the southern center of British Columbia and is another beautiful city of the province. As of 2016, it has a population of just about 90,000 people. It was one of the fastest growing city and still is. It was expected that the population would grow about 100,000 by 2019. Let's see its 2021 census when it comes out. It sits at the confluences of two branches of Thompson River, East Kamloops Lake. It's absolutely gorgeous. The natural beauty not only attracts people, but also bees. Numerous organizations in the city are creating and protecting bee habitats. So the city is designated as a bee city. Here are some pictures that will make you really want to go there. The city is also known as Tournaments Capital of Canada. That's because it hosts more than 100 tournaments each year at world-class sports facilities. Year-round, the city temperature is neither too hot nor too cold, like Kelowna and Pennington. Occasionally, Arctic air manages to come across the mountains and its temperature drops to about -20. But year-round, it's between -3 and 22 degrees Celsius. Sorry US folks, but you gotta use international standards to understand what Canadians are talking about when it comes to temperature. Let me try my best. I think it's between 27 and 71 Fahrenheit. So we're supporting lives of 100,000 people as well as hundreds and thousands of bees there. Flowers, partially yes. Rivers and lakes, yes, partially. The city's economy is driven by tourism, healthcare, transportation, and education, as well as natural resource extraction industries. Different from Kelowna, the Royal Inland Hospital is the city's largest employer with acute care and health facilities, and it's one of the two tertiary referral hospitals, whatever that means. It just sounds cool. In the southern interior with 239 acute beds. That number actually sounds very small to me. Maybe that's because I came from China. Another big employer of the city is Thompson Rivers University, with more than 25,000 people and with a lot of international students from Asian countries. I'm imagining that they're paying a lot more tuition than the local students and contributing to the local economy as well. There are a lot of pulp mills as well. If you are attracted to go there, you can drive on BC Highway 1 and also called Trans-Canada Highway, the Coquihalla Highway, the Yellowhead Highway, and BC Highway 97, depending on where you are. You can also take Canadian Pacific Railway and Canadian National Railway too, which I believe is relatively expensive than buses. Tourism is is another factor driving its economy. More and more people are visiting the city. 2017 year alone has seen 1.8 million visitors. The city also knows that, and it invests hundreds of millions of dollars. If you like arts and people gathering, Kamloops is a good place to visit too. There are Kamloops wine festivals, Kamloops film festivals, mountain biking festivals, International Buskers Festival, Reap Festival, and even festival to celebrating salmon coming back to local river. It sounds like these people like to celebrate every small things in life and enjoy their lives. That's amazing. If you like a balance between a crowded city and quiet nature, Kamloops is going to be an ideal option for you, especially if you like outdoor activities. You can do fishing, mountain biking, golf, skiing, and hockey. I guess ice hockey is not considered as an outdoor activity. This city is definitely one of my retirement considerations, as well as for making YouTube videos. Housing here are also becoming less and less affordable, but still is affordable for most people. At $450,000, you can still get a decent detached house. Number 2 is Chilliwack. If you like to live closer to a big city but still want it to be a bit further where life is more comfortable, then this city is for you. Chilliwack locates east to the greater Vancouver in the upper Fraser Valley, just north of the United States and Canada border. It's surrounded by mountains and recreational areas such as Cultus Lake, Chilliwack Lake Provincial Park, and Fraser River. Although the city was originally an agricultural community, now there are many outdoor activities in the area, such as hiking, rocky climbing, mountain biking, horseback riding, whitewater kayaking, camping, fishing, golfing, paragliding. If you are an ice hockey fan, you can watch the local ice hockey team play there. It's called Chilliwack Chiefs. The population size is slightly smaller than that of Kamloops, but still more than 80,000 people. The weather is very similar to that of Vancouver, of course, with mild and rainy winter, sunny and dry summer. It's a beautiful place with nice weather, of course except for winter. So what's driving the economy? Not so much from tourism like the previous three. Instead, service and retail sectors account for approximately 50% of its GDP. Additionally, manufacturing accounts for 13%, construction 8%, agricultural forestry at 5%. There are some military facilities for training and all that, but it has nothing to do with normal people who just want to live quiet and normal life. If you want to take a flight, you probably want to go to Vancouver Airport or Epworth Airport, although there's a small airport in the Chilliwack downtown. Other than airway, of course, you have choices of highway, bus, and rail. When it comes to education, of course, there are a lot of elementary schools and secondary schools, as well as a university, University of Fraser Valley, which is not famous, but a decent one. In terms of housing, it's of course a lot cheaper than the neighboring Vancouver. You can get a great home, $450,000. Alright, the number 1. Guess what? It's Vernon. You probably have never heard about this place, but this is a great place for even greater number of people. If you can't afford a house in the previous 4 cities and you still like the mountains and lakes and the rivers and the trees in the province, this place Vernon can be a great choice for you. Vernon is another city in the Okanagan region, about 40 kilometers northern of Kelowna, with population more than 50,000. That's a lot less than that of Kelowna. This is one of the most desirable community to retire in entire North America. It's definitely is my consideration too. The climate is quite mild, -3 to -5 in the winter and about 20 in summer. A lot less rain compared to Vancouver, and precipitation is a lot more balanced around the year. You can take Highway 97 or 6 to get there. Of course, there are a lot of activities year-round. Each winter, Vernon hosted Vernon Winter Carnival, which is now the largest in Western Canada and second largest in North America. There are a lot of other sports as well, art galleries and other activities, because it's surrounded by mountains and the lake. Houses are a lot cheaper here, even cheaper than the 4 that we just talked about. Compared to the 4 cities that we just talked about, on average, houses here are about $100,000 or more cheaper here. At $350,000, you can get a great house with yard and everything else. Alright, these are 5 cities we want to discuss today. Certainly, there are many more choices than these in the province, like Penticton, Prince George, but we can't talk all of them today in this video. If you're interested in hearing me talking about them, you can subscribe to my channel. Also, let me know which one of the 5 cities that we discussed today you like most by leaving your comments below. I think overall BC is a great place to live. Of course, where you want to live depends on your purpose, your job, and your connections as well. Alright, that's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed watching. If you do, please don't forget to destroy the like button below and smash the subscribe button for YouTube algorithm if you haven't. Thank you very much. As always, see you next time.